The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of the PS&All Marketing Group. Oh, thank you. Standing over there. Thank you, studio audience. And this is season number 2, show number 25, and it is happening right now. You know, I'm traveling down to the Cape traffic area. I'm in congestion. I'm at the line drop change, the line drop dance, and people are listening to Paul Ponders on the way down. So for our new listeners out there, just listen along. Thanks for tuning in as we're sitting in traffic in this inclement weather. So be careful driving out there, as Councilor Tom Williams had stated. Now, I am excited to bring you another great season with my network of very knowledgeable contributors. We will continue to keep it real, hot and timely, South Shore and the Cape and Islands base, North Shore reference, but definitely full of Paul pondering thoughts. And as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as general manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. A huge shout out goes to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app. So hello to Chef Felipe. And as always, we have lots of activity going on today at Pearl Street Station with a couple of huge birthday gatherings and a huge Twitch meetup for gaming developers. That should be really fun. For those of you who have been out to Malden, you know that we have a huge gaming district. It's an area of the Malden Square area that is dedicated to gamers, and it's really quite the place. And tonight we have this group, this Twitch group, Jade Powers and her group from Boba are coming out to the restaurant, and it should be a really fun evening. And it's really the place to be. So looking forward to hosting that tonight with an overflow crowd. So that's going to be really cool. Now, I know I always say it, but it is true. As Malden's longest running restaurant of 40 years, we have incredible staying power in the greater Boston area in the North Shore. Please venture over that Zakin Bridge, or as my daughters will say, the godforsaken bridge, and visit us. Now, Chef Felipe, I must say that clam chowder that you made this morning with your incredible blend of various creams and that base ingredient of TLC were just what I needed for the ride down to ATD. And it was absolutely tremendous, a great clam chowder. But also, too, you know, that brownie you made up this morning, that rincon, as we say, the corner piece. Awesome. Looking forward to that brownie dessert Sunday tonight over at Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. And, of course, I always give a shout-out to my team of Chef Felipe, Chef Joaquin Pizziola Moose, John, Jen, Nicole, and Don for holding down the fort on this very busy day. And as I stated earlier, it is season number 2 and show number 25, and it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of the boiling point with Arthur Boyle. Arthur is my executive consultant of the Paul Ponders radio show, and Arthur is out there adding to our list of sponsors and seasonal sponsors. I believe that Crystal Pools is coming back for another summer, so we'll be hearing hopefully from them next week or the week after. And while I'm at it, talking about the Boyle family, we have a few announcements already. So happy birthday to son Billy Boyle. He's celebrating a birthday tomorrow, I believe, and it ends in a 0, and it's not 30, and it's not 50. So I give you 3 guesses. The first 2 do not count. So happy birthday to Billy Boyle out there. And, of course, Arthur Boyle has a birthday on June 4th. And in the happiness, another generation passing through the halls of Pembroke High School, congratulations to Arthur's granddaughter, Caitlin Grazioso, on her graduation today from Pembroke High School, and also to her fellow graduates at Pembroke High. And also a quick shout-out to Coach Bill Wilhelm. Arthur and I were chatting about Coach Bill Wilhelm on the way down. town. And just thinking back to the Sports Exchange when I first came to the studio years ago, and it was really so cool to be, in the presence of the dean of high school sports, just doing a great job. Really the first of its kind, probably, for a talk show, especially focusing in on general areas. So a shout out to Coach Bill Wilhelm and his wife, Marsha. And also, too, while we're at as far as birthdays go, many thanks to Rob Hackler. He included me in the celebrity birthdays earlier this week on my birthday. And it was so cool to receive a text from Matt from Pembroke telling me that Rob had included me as a celebrity birthday. And also, many thanks to Rob on that. So really, it was a very good birthday week. All these Gemini running around, and it's all so cool. And with us behind the glass, we have Tim behind the glass.
Good afternoon,
Racing
Paul.
in, yes, indeed. How are you, my friend?
Got the rain tires on. I'm good.
Yeah,
good.
The rain tires.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Need
getting
them
cold.
today.
You may have to put snow tires on.
No, shh.
Okay, let's
Don't
not talk
say
about
that word. Oh my gosh, it's the second time today. Anyway.
No. Absolutely not. So what's happening, my friend?
Well, last night, I don't know if I've been watching the truck race from last night. Lane Riggs got a second win in a row. He won the race last weekend. It was a big shuffle because of all the bad weather in Charlotte last weekend. Trucks were supposed to race Friday night, as they usually do. They raced Sunday morning at 10:30. Originally, they were going to move it to 8 a.m. Saturday. The rain just kept coming and coming and coming.
Wow.
O'Reilly got in. It was a weather-shortened race, but they raced Saturday night, and the Cup race got in all but 33 laps Sunday night.
Wow.
And, of course, everyone had the honorary showman's bow in honor of Kyle Busch. And pre-race ceremonies for the Cup race, I mean, not only being Memorial Day weekend, but the passing of Kyle Busch, very heavy with emotion. And it's amazing how much the phrase sometimes comes across. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Just the NASCAR community is so supportive in so many ways without saying a word. Kyle's widow and their kids came out with the CEO, Steve O'Donnell of NASCAR, and it was kind of a speech ceremony. But there's so many drivers and crew members walking behind them for this presentation and just standing there silent. And a lot of them had on Kyle Busch hats, T-shirts, like fan gear, because they weren't just the competitors; they were friends too,
right.
And it was really nice to see. And then lap 8 was a silent lap, similar to when Dale Earnhardt passed, driving the number 3. Lap 3 was a moment of silence, and just the pace laps. There's the missing. Can't remember the exact phrase, but the missing man formation. So the cars weren't just lined up next to each other. There was an empty space between each of them, and just it was something.
Wow.
It was
Powerful.
It was cool. Yeah,
Powerful.
very. Yeah, I cried.
Wow.
I just
absolutely. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
Really. No, this I hadn't heard about this. Thank you for sharing that.
If you look online, it's
I'm going to have to.
Wow.
What do we Google on that on YouTube? What do you think?
Kyle Busch, Charlotte.
Okay.
Death. I'm not sure exactly, but there's reels and stuff all across social media. What a showing of everyone. Just really, really nice to see.
Wow.
And of course, Prime Video did a great broadcast too. That was their first broadcast of the season for 5 races, and just it shows just how. I mean, the same team behind the scenes does Prime, TNT. There's certain people that are in place all across the season. That helps too, but I didn't see all the pre-race, but the coverage they did, just second to none, to handle this like, this is we have a death we start our broadcast window off with, and that's tough. I mean, any sport.
Right.
But yeah, we got another one later tonight. They're all at Nashville. Lane Riggs, like I said, he won last night, got a guitar. We'll see who wins tonight. O'Reilly, 7:30, and then Cup race again tomorrow night, Sunday night, 7 p.m. But the weather's just as up in the air almost as much as last weekend. So we'll wait and see what happens. But good stuff on the track. except for passing of Kyle Busch, of course. Memory will live on, and lots of great interview clips out there online, too. He was a man sometimes of many words or few words or the same words. There's one interview he did when he was racing the Skittles car. There were like 15 press around him, all asking different questions. He gave the same answer to all of them. It's like, having a good weekend, looking forward to get back in the car, and thank you. And then someone else, well, building on that, blah, blah, blah. Had a great weekend, looking forward. Like, that's just all he gave for the whole interview, because sometimes it's better to just bite your tongue.
Right, exactly.
Don't lose your ride.
Well, as Coach Belichick would always say, on to Cincinnati.
Right, yeah.
Indeed.
Do your job.
Absolutely, indeed. Well, Tim Behind the Glass, I thank you so much, and keep up the great work, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this part of the program, we have the Pod Pro Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Miss Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment, vice president of technology literacy for Pod Pro, a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35 out of my 89 episodes thus far. And on the line, calling from, it looks like Connecticut. Is that true, Miss Shelley Wolf?
That is true. We are in the middle of Connecticut right now.
Oh, wow. Are you at a rest stop, I hope, or any handheld device or speakerphone?
I'm on my handheld, and my lovely friend Andrea is driving us.
Oh, okay. Very good. And say hi to Andrea for me.
I will.
In the spirit of full disclosure, I had the opportunity to meet Andrea last evening, and it was great meeting Andrea, and I'm glad she got to sample some of the wonderful steak tips at Pearl Street Station Restaurant.
Yes, we had some lovely food, and I hear the steak tips were just dynamite. So I'm looking forward to having her leftovers today.
There you go. So. Absolutely. That's a hashtag indeed.
Yes.
So, Miss Shelley Wolf, as always, you're a vital cog in the Paul Ponders radio show, and people stop me on the street, and they literally do say, she's so smart, she's so intelligent, she's really great. Can she be on more? She should have her own show. And I hear all these great things about you. And of course, I post some of the tips on the PS&All Marketing Group blog and all. And you just have so many great things. And the added feature of the myth of the week you chime in with and all. So without further ado, please take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you for all those nice compliments, and thank you to all the listeners and folks that send us questions each week. We greatly appreciate it. But this week we definitely want to talk about putting down the phone and picking up an experience. We spend a lot of time talking about what technology can do for us, but how it can help us stay organized, find information, navigate traffic, connect with family and friends, or even just answer a question in seconds. But today I really want to talk about something really important, something technology cannot replace, and that is the art. The feeling of sitting in a theater as the lights dim, the energy of hearing a live band perform your favorite song, the laughter shared with strangers during a comedy performance, the emotion of watching a local actor bring a story to life, or, as we were talking about earlier, just even watching something like a NASCAR race. Technology is amazing, but some of our experiences still need to be experienced in person. So today's tech tip is about using technology not as the destination, but as the bridge that it helps us to discover more arts, music, culture, and community. With that being said, you may be asking, why do experiences matter so much? Over the last few years, so many of us have become so accustomed to just streaming everything, whether it's a movie at home, a concert, a virtual event. And while those tools are a tremendous value, there's something that gets lost, and it's about gathering in the same space. So when you attend a community theater production or a local music event, an art exhibit, or a music or cultural festival, you're doing more than watching. You're actually participating. You're connecting. You're supporting the local arts and organizations that really help make all these communities vibrant. And again, just as you and Tim were talking, right, like that vibrancy of that NASCAR family and the community, it's not about competition. It's bringing community together one person at a time. And perhaps most importantly, you're creating memories in a way that are just much more authentic. So where does technology play a role in this for me, you may ask? Using technology to discover those hidden gems One of the biggest challenges today isn't finding something to do, it's knowing where to look. Many wonderful performances and events happen every week right in our own backyard. And they often fly out Eventbrite, something like a band's in town, local library websites, your community theater websites, museum calendars, art councils. There's a timeout.com. You can find what's happening in your community. Many organizations also offer free email updates, so you'll just know what's happening before those tickets get sold out. So support local communities is essential to our community core. Here's something many people don't think about. When you buy a ticket to a local play, attend a community concert, or even visit an art show, you're supporting more than the performer. You're supporting local businesses, restaurants, technicians, educators, young artists, and community organizations. The arts create economic activity that bring people together. And in a world where so many interactions happen online, those face-to-face experiences are just so valuable. So now let's jump into our tech myth of the week. The tech myth is this: everything we're seeing is available online. But the reality is some of life's best experiences only happen in person. A recording of a concert is not the same feeling as sitting in that room and feeling the music and the vibration. A streamed play or a musical isn't the same as sharing that experience with that live audience. Technology can bring us information, but it can't recreate that human connection. So let's plan to create our own summer adventures through the arts. And here's a fun challenge I will throw at you. Use your technology this summer to build an arts adventure list. Set up trying to attend at least one live concert or a band at a restaurant is fine, one community theater production, visit a museum or a gallery in your backyard, go to one of your cultural festivals, or just try an event you have not done before. Use your phone to find those events, set up your calendar reminders, invite friends, save your tickets to your phone because a lot of them are all digital now, capture moments afterwards, stay present while you're there. Technology can help you plan that experience, but the magic, again, happens when you actually show up. So from a personal reflection, one of the things I love most about the arts is that they remind us that we're not alone. Whether it's a song, a story, a painting, a performance, the art that we have a way of sharing and helping us feel connected to something that is larger than ourselves. And while technology continues to evolve, the human need for connection has not changed. The arts are essential for bridging that community that we've just talked about. So a quick arts checklist is follow that local arts organization that you might be thinking about that you haven't really gone and visited or partaken in. Check an event off on your calendar this week. Invite a friend to join you and attend one live event this month. Support local arts when possible. However, be present. Don't put that phone up and constantly take pictures or record. People are there to enjoy the moment of being in presence. So again, and it's distracting to those that are up on the stage as well. So again, it's just being present. So my call to action for you this week is use your technology, not just to scroll, but to discover. Find that local play or musical, attend that concert, visit that exhibit, and then right here in Massachusetts, there's plenty of festivals in all these little neighborhoods. Technology is a wonderful tool, but some of life's best moments still happen when we step outside that screen. And that's today's tech tip. So put down the phone, pick up an experience, support your arts in your community, and you might discover something that is unforgettable.
Wow, Ms. Shelley Wolf, that is absolutely awesome, and that's an incredible dovetail and segue into the following two segments, which is going to be based on the arts and humanities and life in general with my upcoming guests. And also, I thank you for dovetailing that so wonderfully, as you always do.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Without a doubt. Now, how do our listeners in Paul Ponder's land reach you?
Yep, they can reach us at info@podproentertainment.com.
That's fabulous. And Techie Talonzo is out there doing all those content reels, and he's keeping it real.
He is keeping it real. He has got tons of content reels like Coming Alive. And, we took him out to dinner last night, and now we've put him back to work for the day.
Well, that's good. That's great. He has to keep everything afloat and just do an incredible job with his Pod Pro entertainment with Pod Pro.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Well, Shelley Wolf, I want to thank you again for being on. Safe travels to you and Andrea. And until we meet again, we'll be checking in with you next week. How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful. It was a great being on here, and have a wonderful show. And again, shout out to all of our listeners. We really appreciate the constant feedback. So thank you.
Thank you. That's a hashtag indeed.
Hashtag imagine.
Thanks, Shelley. Well, as Arthur Boyle says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors.
You tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com. What is your home doing to your health? How is the air quality in your home? You can breathe easier with Environmental Resources, an indoor air quality company you can count on, providing healthy solutions for your home or business. Environmental Resources specializes in mold inspections and testing for toxic type molds, mold removal assessments, musty odors, allergens, and excess moisture and dampness. Environmental Resources is a locally owned and established business for over 23 years, located in Hanover, Route 53. Call Environmental Resources today for solutions for a healthy home and healthy people. No mold, no allergens, no indoor pollution. Environmental Resources, 781-248-9975 at airenvironments.com. Again, that's Environmental Resources, 781-248-9975, airenvironments.com for better health. Andy Provatola.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. The call-in and text-in number is 781-837-4900, and you could also find us on the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and if you're like my daughter Ann in California, you're listening to Paul Ponders on WATD right now. And a shout-out to all those great nonprofits out there. If you want to be featured, if you want to appear on Paul Ponders' radio show or a podcast, please reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com. Listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. And a quick shout out this Sunday night, tomorrow night at midnight, I'm dropping a very engaging episode with my dear friend, Paul P.J. Suerta. His new book, his dad's book, which has just been released over the past month, is Seal in the Bathtub, so you want to check that out. Now, at this point of the program, we usually have the segment of health and wellness survival tips with Ms. Sharon Filio, but Sharon has yielded her time to our upcoming guests, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Sharon on her fall prevention method, the Filio Fall Prevention Method. You can find that on Sharon's YouTube channel. That's FILL YAW fall prevention method, and check out Sharon's great fall prevention method and all. But Sharon has yielded her time so that I've been able to, in fact, invite a dear friend of many decades on the line with his colleagues. So I guess Eddie Serino, dear friend, are you on the line with Wendy and Cliff?
Yes, I'm here. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well, Eddie. Thanks for taking the time to be on in this very busy time for you with what you're doing with the production. We're going to hear more. But Eddie, you and I have known each other for a few decades through the restaurant business, and we talk business, we talk sports, we talk acting, and you do it all. So I welcome you back to Paul Ponders on WATD.
Oh, thank you. So before I ended up in the liquor business, I started doing theater as a teenager for a program for low-income students, and that's how I started. And then I walked away many times to try to give my daughter the stability that an acting career seldom provides. And I was lucky enough, many years ago, I took a scene study class, and I met Wendy Lippy, and it's a wonderful thing because we connected as people. I respect her as a person, and I love her as an actress. And we did Extremities together against the advice of the teacher. And we really got it down so well when we did it in class. The class thought I hurt her because we made the bureau shake. And then maybe a year later...
And they screamed.
And they did scream.
The entire class screamed. They thought it was real.
And then about a year later, we auditioned for a company up north. And I said to the guy, because a lot of companies hire their friends, I said, don't make us drive all the way up here if we don't have a legit shot at this. We went up with Wendy and my friend John, who I had a small avant-garde theater company with. And one of the first people up was a smaller actor, about 5'7", 5'8". And he did the opening, the scene with Extremities, the physical scene. And then me and Wendy did it. And at the time, you remember when I was a bigger guy, I was like 6'2", 250. So I towered over this guy. Same thing happened. Me and Wendy killed it. Everyone was just shocked. And then a few audition scenes later, they had the little guy go up again. He did it, copying what we did. And then when we didn't get the job, it's the only time in my life I ever called the director and said, there's no way. And he said that Russell has the ferocity of a caged animal. And I said to him, a hamster's a caged animal. And I hung up the phone because I was just so offended. And, Wendy and I had rehearsed this so many times, and we're trained differently. But we understand each other, and she's just great at it. And we were supposed to do Extremities a few years ago, and there was an issue with the director. So hopefully next year we'll do it at the BCA. And now she's doing Frankie and Johnny there. And her company does work as equal to the Lyric Stage, the GAM in Rhode Island, any of what are considered the top repertory companies around. And it's not easy in Boston because of the proximity to New York, but she's fantastic. Not because she's my friend. I mean, I work with a lot of crummy actors, and you don't say anything, but she's somebody I always respect. Her last show, Stage Kiss, was incredible. She's hired some top-notch people for this production, so I'm going to let Wendy take over now and tell you more about the company and what's going on with this production.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eddie, for those really, really kind words, and thank you, Paul, for having us. And I know you know Eddie and how amazing he is, and he has been a dear friend for a long time. And we performed with a small theater company in churches and random places all over Boston, and we've kind of stayed connected ever since. And I'm thrilled to have him assisting us with Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune, and thrilled to be working with Cliff Blake, a well-regarded actor in Boston that everybody loves his work. He was in the recent film Ephus that received critical acclaim, and he was a featured actor there. And we have the famous Broadway Julia Murney, who was Elphaba on Broadway with the national tour, did Falling off-Broadway and got a critical acclaim award for her dramatic work. And she's unusual in that she's a famous Broadway musical theater star, but, it's very hard to cross those lines, right, and be recognized for doing really solid dramatic work as well. They tend to put you in boxes. So it was exciting for us to be able to, work through her agent to get her here to do more of what I know she can do with drama. She's not just a musical theater star, So it was funny when I went to see Falling. It was off-Broadway, and I didn't even realize it was her because I hadn't seen her in years. She and I met at the Syracuse University BFA program in musical theater. And I just said, my God, the woman playing the mother of this autistic young man, married to her husband, and they had, the kid at home. He was a grown man, but they kept this autistic child at home. And he was violent and abusive. And I just said, this mother is incredible. I mean, who is she? And I looked down at my program and I said, oh my God, it's Julia Murney. Right? So I went backstage and I spoke with her and her agent. And I said, Julia, you can do drama. I mean, I didn't realize it was you. And she said, yeah, I know. And her agent said to me, Wendy, it is so hard to get people to recognize that people who are stellar at musical theater can also be stellar in drama, And Julia will sometimes, instead of making the most beautiful note in heaven and earth when she's singing, she'll choose the dramatic moment instead of the most beautiful note that she can produce, because she's just, one of a kind in the world with her voice. And she's done solo concerts at Carnegie Hall and has her own albums out. But she'll choose the dramatic moment to make it real and to make it moving rather than glorious sounding, which I respect as an actor who doesn't do musical theater.
Without a doubt. So she truly, truly defies gravity.
Yeah. Yes, she does. She truly defies gravity.
Absolutely, without a doubt. We'll be heading into a commercial break in a couple of minutes or so, but you have a production coming up, and we'll give a shout out for that, and we'll do a quick intro for Cliff. But when is this production occurring?
So we open on Thursday, September. Oh my God, Thursday, June 18th, and then we run until the 28th. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday matinees. And after every evening performance, we're going to have audience dancing so they can come up on the stage and dance. And we're going to have 80s music because the play was written by Terrence McNally in 1987. And it premiered off Broadway in 1987. It was written by Terrence McNally in the 80s, and it takes place in the 80s. So we're going to have 80s music with any kind of dancing you want. And then on Sundays, we're going to have a post-show discussion with the cast, which is Cliff and myself. So if you don't want to dance, come to the Sunday matinee and talk about this beautiful, moving story about love and hope and people overcoming obstacles to connect, which we need more than ever before in history, I think. Without a doubt.
And that's going to be at the BCA, the Black Box Theater?
The Boston Center for the Arts, Black Box Theater. And you can go to the psychdramacompany.com website to learn more about our theater company, which was founded in 2010. There's a ticket link there that will bring you to the Boston Theater Scene website where you can buy tickets. And you can read more about Cliff. You can read more about me. Eddie, we got to get you up there on the website. Yes. You can read more about Eddie very soon. And Julia Murney, our superstar director, her bio is there. But I think for getting tickets, is that the best thing, Cliff? Yes. People can also reach me directly at 617-275-9167. They can call or text. And they can also email me at psych271@msn.com for group discounts or any way that we can assist you with getting tickets. We know that money is tight for a lot of people now, and we would like to help people get to see art and theater, and we will do what we can to get you a seat, even if our prices are too high for you.
Without a doubt, my friend. Well, we're going to hold you over to the next segment, but we have to pay some bills, so we're going to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll hear from Cliff and the Psych Drama Company. How does that sound?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you tried Brianville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com. What is your home doing to your health? How is the air quality in your home? You can breathe easier with Environmental Resources, an indoor air quality company you can count on, providing healthy solutions for your home or business. Environmental Resources specializes in mold inspections and testing for toxic-type molds, mold removal assessments, musty odors, allergens, and excess moisture and dampness. Environmental Resources is a locally owned and established business for over 23 years, located in Hanover, Route 53. Call Environmental Resources today for solutions for a healthy home and healthy people. No mold, no allergens, no indoor pollution. Environmental Resources, 781-248-9975 at airenvironments.com. Again, that's Environmental Resources, 781-248-9975, airenvironments.com for better health. Andy Provatola.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back. Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. The call-in number is 781-837-4900. Now, at this point in the program, we usually have the financial wing of Olympic Proportion, sponsored by PS&L Marketing Group and VerWorks Credit Union, NMLS number 410564, with Mr. Paul Criley of VerWorks Credit Union, and Olympian and former Boston Bruins winger Dave Jensen, Senior Loan Officer. Paul and Dave have yielded their time this week to keep our guests on the line, and our guests are Eddie Serino, dear friend Eddie Serino, Wendy Lippy, and Mr. Cliff Blake, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Great to have you on. Now, we haven't heard from Cliff Blake yet, so Cliff, great to meet you over the phone. How are things going with the production?
They're going great. We're getting ready to start in earnest on Monday. So, but we've been working on this for the past year. Wendy and I have sort of taken a liking to this particular script because it's about hope and it's about love, but it's also about second chances. So it has a lot of meaning, I think, for what we need in the world today, right now. So it has a lot of soul to the storyline.
That is so true. And as the song from the 60s or 70s goes, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing, right?
That's it. Yeah, the only thing. There's just too little of it, right?
That's right.
We're gonna bring more. We're gonna bring more to the world and to Boston in a couple of weeks. So
absolutely.
We want people to feel that love and feel for these characters that are that are searching for something better and second chances in life, basically.
Absolutely. And we'll dovetail into Wendy's work as a former clinical assistant professor at Boston University. You served on the faculty at Harvard Medical School for over a decade, and you have the Psych Drama Company, a 501c3. You do it all, Wendy, huh?
It's a lot. It's a long work week for me. I am still currently and have been a clinical assistant professor at BU for over 30 years.
Oh, my.
So that continues for me, but Harvard Medical School was for over a decade, and that ended a number of years ago. There was a time where I was on both faculties and running the theater company and having a private practice. So I've learned to live with, Paul, I don't sleep.
Wow. I only need 3 hours sleep a night. That's all I need. But wow. Yeah, you need a job done. You ask a busy person.
Yeah, but there's something about the work that to me overlaps, right? Being a psychologist, you're really trying to understand what makes humans tick and what their desires and aspirations are, what their obstacles are, what their fears are. And in theater, you're doing the same thing as an actor, as a director. It's just a fictional character that you're delving into, but it's the same kind of mind and the same kind of challenges. So bringing together theater and psychology is sort of a natural thing for me. It just intuitively makes so much sense,
Without a doubt. I've always been a big believer of the fact that we ask ourselves the questions, why do we do the things we do? And it's just something that we always need to ask those questions. So when you came up with the concept, to produce this for the Psych Drama Company, again, a 501c3 nonprofit theater company, where you serve as the producing artistic director, what were you thinking when you said, okay, we're going to do something in Boston, we're going to do Frankie and Johnny? Tell us about that whole experience.
So was it when I founded the company or for this particular show, Frankie and Johnny?
For this show, Frankie and Johnny. Show.
Yeah, so, we've done a lot of big productions and with lots of people and lots of moving parts, and those were always and are always very exciting and challenging in their own ways. But Cliff and I have known each other for a long time, and we've performed together on a number of occasions, and we wanted to do something together again. And I was up for something small because we just did Stage Kiss last year that had, I think 8 or 9 cast members. So Cliff and I spoke, and we both have loved this script for a long time. And we figured, now is the time. I think that the world feels so overwhelming with so many moving parts and so much trauma going on, and the ability to sort of do something together that was small and quiet and intimate and that was filled with love and hope and joy, it just felt right. And interestingly enough, there have been some other theater companies popping up doing the show this year as well. Shakespeare and Company is going to be doing it over the summer, and the GAM did it a couple months ago. And I'm always curious, why a number of different theater companies will start doing the same show. What is that about? Everybody was doing Macbeth at the same time. Psych Drama did Macbeth at the same time. Commonwealth Shakespeare did it. The Globe did it at the same time in London. So there seems to be this, I don't know that we can articulate what it is always, but something that kind of drives this decision where you see a lot of companies doing the same show. And my guess is that people are feeling overwhelmed by the hopelessness of the larger landscape and want to come down to something more human and more simple and look at love and look at two people and what we can do in our own little way as one person or two people or three people to make the world a better place. Because it feels a little paralyzing right now. What can I do? And what we want to do with this show is bring love and hope to people and remind them that all hope is not lost and that there's hope through connection and overcoming barriers. And that's been important to both of us as Cliff and I have been talking about this show for really the past 12 months.
That is absolutely fascinating. So, Wendy, when did you start the Psych Drama Company?
So I started it in 2010, and I was at a conference that was on psychoanalysis and Greek tragedy in Sicily, in Ortigia. And we were at an ancient Greek amphitheater seeing Greek tragedies. We were seeing Hippolytus and Phaedra and Ajax. So Hippolytus and Phaedra are the same show, different names for the same show, I think, and Ajax. And then we would go into this literal ivory tower, and all of us, clinical psychologists with PhDs or psychiatrists with MDs would go into this ivory tower, literally, and have these academic discussions. And I was like, wait, where are the actors? Where are the directors? Where are all the creatives? Like, they should be here. They should be part of this conversation to make it more real and make it more visceral and more emotional and more compelling. And that's when the wheels started spinning. And I said, I want to create a theater company that integrates creatives with psychologists, because that's who I am, but also because I think they go hand in hand so beautifully together. So historically, before the pandemic, after every single performance, we would have a post-show discussion with the audience led by a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a social worker. And psychologists and psychiatrists had been involved with the production at all layers of the show, whether that be character development and character arc or thinking about the text and dissecting the text. We've always had psychologists involved in our productions, and they always have some kind of unique, immersive, experimental, psychological angle to them, all of our shows. Since the pandemic, we have still continued with the post-show discussions, but less so. Like for this show, we'll be having them on Sundays, but we'll have the dancing instead. So the company has evolved and changed, but it's always been about really wanting to bring together theater and psychology, always in different, exciting ways. We often break the fourth wall and engage with the audience. In this show, I don't know yet, because we'll have to see what Julia wants to do with it when she arrives on Monday. But my guess is we won't be breaking the fourth wall, because it's such an intimate play. You're in this bedroom with Frankie and Johnny, and the theater is very small, and that's immersive enough. You're right there. Yeah.
Without a doubt. A friend of mine, a friend associate of mine, used to run the Boston Center for the Arts in the 1970s, and he's told me about that black box theater and the whole layout. And I haven't been in the building in a long time, but it's one of those things that I hope to go to the show. And before we start to run out of time, I want to get one final plug in for when the show dates are, and then I want to ask Cliff a quick question. But when is the show?
So June 18th through June 28th. So Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights, and Sunday matinees. The 18th of June through the 28th.
Fabulous. Various performances on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a 2-week run at the BCA Plaza Black Box Theater, 539 Tremont Street in Boston.
Yes, and I do want to highlight that this is Julia Murney's Boston directorial debut, so people do not want to miss this. And I'll turn it over to Cliff.
Fabulous. And Cliff, and thank you, Wendy. Cliff, I noticed in your bio that you had come up with an incredible concept. It's called the Actors Table. When you did that back in Nantucket, if you want to tell us about that, please.
Yeah, that was a theater. It was a theater experiment. And my sister has a restaurant down there. So what we ended up doing is we decided to do some shows, and we would pair food with the show, and then have also all the money went to charities for hunger charities. And so it brought a new dimension to theater, because normally you have a light cue and a sound cue. And she told me, well, I need to know when to cue the scallops, so the scallops are coming out at the right time, because the food would be served while the show is going on. And the first one we did was Same Time Next Year, which kind of goes through a couple in the 60s, 70s, or actually 50s, 60s, and 70s. So we would have 50s food with 50s music, and 60s food, 60s music, that kind of thing. Then we did about 4 or 5 shows down there over the course of several years. She's sold a restaurant, so we don't do that anymore. But it was an interesting concept, and people enjoyed the evening. But our goal wasn't to raise money for the theater. We just decided we need to raise money for causes of people in Africa that have no food. You know, a little bit of money goes a long way in Africa. You can feed somebody in a few $100s for a year. So we were trying to, do good with theater, and she donated all the cooking expertise. So it was kind of a fun set of evenings.
That is wonderful. Well, congratulations on that. And as they say, break a leg in the production. And Eddie, dear friend, Eddie Serino, thank you. Thank you so much for arranging this. This has been wonderful. Hope to catch up with you soon. Any final words as we close out the show?
No, thank you for being a long-time friend, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to highlight this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul, and we hope to see you at the show anytime you want to come, and you can bring as many guests, complimentary. Please be our guest.
Thank you so much. As they say, break a leg.
Thank you.
We'll catch up with you soon. Thank you. Well, I want our listeners to stay tuned to WATD and the Memories with Ron Dwyer. Ron, you are a grand poobah of musical memories. Thanks again to Tim, Arthur, Shelley, Eddie, Wendy, Cliff, and our advertisers. But really, thank you, listeners in WATD World and Beyond. Here's to a continued great season number 2 and beyond. Keep on Paul pondering. #Indeed.